Yeah, well, it relates to mandates. Montanans understand taking care of their neighbor. We should be focused on taking care of those who are most vulnerable. Those are our senior citizens, and those are those who have compromised immune systems. So I really believe that that ought to be a choice of personal responsibility, and that's something that should be left in the hands, frankly, of our communities, and should be left in the hands of not having a federal mandate or a state mandate. But as I'll tell you, as I hear from parents right now across our state, I'm hearing from parents all over saying, why is it that my son or daughter, whether it's a cross-country meet or a football game, that I can go to take my son or daughter to a restaurant, a grocery store, but I can't go attend their football game or their cross-country meet in a away game? This is where I think we have an opportunity for our governor to step up and lead. We have 30 to 35,000 parents that signed a petition saying, help us, Governor Bullock. You think about those years, I was a football parent, I was a cross-country, a track parent, a cheer dad. One of the greatest memories you have as a parent is watching your kids play sports. And it's being taken away right now from far too many Montana families. You have to sit there on the outside of the football field and try to look in. We could easily social distance. They could wear masks and still be in the same stadium as their child who's playing football.
We're going to open this topic up now to again follow up on it, and we begin that segment with Senator Daines.
Yeah, well, I agree this should not be about politics. It should be about good policy and public health to protect those who are most vulnerable across Montana. And those are our senior citizens as well as those that have compromised immune system. I think about my mom and dad. My dad's 81, my mom's 78, my father-in-law is 87, my mother-in-law is 88. They all live in the Bozeman area. Believe me, when we're with them, we are very, very careful. We'll wear masks and make sure that they are protected because they are very, very, very vulnerable. But I'll tell you what I'm concerned about is you've got trial lawyers now who are running around this country and in Montana. They've launched a trial lawyer pandemic. They are suing and settling now and creating a lot of problems for our businesses, for our hospitals, for our schools, and that's why part of the next package that we pass in Washington, D.C. needs to include liability protections. I don't want to see a trial lawyer pandemic. We need to stay focused on keeping everybody safe, stay focused on these new treatments, and stay focused on safely getting the vaccine out, because the pandemic will not end until we have immunity. We'll have immunity once we have a safe vaccine.
Governor Bullock?
If this is about good policy and public health, Senator, should we listen to Dr. Fauci, who says taking these steps that we all know, social distancing, washing our hands, wearing a mask, would be as effective now as another shutdown? Should we listen to Dr. Birx, who literally last week said to me, you know, in some areas of our state, we should probably have everything shut down again? Or should we try to use politics to divide this? And that's one of the problems, is that, look, this pandemic, this virus, it doesn't care if you're Democrat or Republican. All it wants is a host to spread. As you noted in the first question, we have seen increases in our state right now. And that's concerning. It's the actions that we collectively take in our communities that are going to limit that spread and keep our schools open and keep your parents safe.
Senator Daines.
Yeah, well, the governor mentioned the issue of a shutdown, and I'll say I strongly advise, now it'll be the governor's decision on that, it's not mine, I strongly advise not having another shutdown of the economy. If we learned something in March and April, it was what's the devastating effect of an economic shutdown. We saw over 100,000 Montanans lose their jobs. We saw increases in suicide, in depression, anxiety, child abuse, domestic abuse as a result of the isolation and the despair as so many Montanans lost their jobs. So I don't want to see Montana have another economic shutdown. Let's move forward with responsibility. Let's make sure we protect those who are most vulnerable. And let's keep the focus right now on helping our schools and our hospitals, as well as making sure we got the treatments like remdesivir and these monoclonal antibodies, in addition to the vaccine, to get that speedily out safely so that we can make sure we start developing immunity here with the use of drugs.
Final word to Governor Bullock.
Yeah, no one wants to see a shutdown. So that's the actions that we collectively take as well. And the Senator talks about that early shutdown and the impact on Montana. I recognize that impact. But I also recognize because we took aggressive actions, that's what has actually led more Montanans to go back to work. We have the 7th lowest unemployment rate now in the country. We're among the top 10 to actually get back to a pre-pandemic level when it comes to our economy. And I recognize, look, we do need a vaccine along the way. We've got to be able to take those steps. But even before that, there are things that we can take. It's just so unfortunate that a month out from an election, that the senator and others are more focused on the politics of it than the public health. Because the way that we'll keep our economy going and thriving is not making this about politics, but about actually making it about public health and economic recovery.